it's November, which means that we've already started getting Christmas adverts. And, of course, got plenty of time still till Christmas, but, might as well start early, which M&S have done. Now, they've got a new advert, which is called Love Thismas, Not Thatmas, which I will play on the segment that I play later, but just in general, it's just people tossing away or burning or whatever different parts of Christmas that they're not actually that fond of, and saying, well, actually, I want to do Christmas the way I want to do it, and all these different festivities that I'm not happy with, I want to do it my way. So it's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, funny advert, people putting Christmas crackers into wood chippers or whatever it might be. And it's a bit of fun, I guess, and just say, if you want to do Christmas, do it your way. Harmless fun, it's an advert, right? I'll let you know, chat. People are mad. It's the war on Christmas, it's back. It's not a Bill O'Reilly meme anymore, chat. According to Alison Pearson, a friend of the show, a dreadful, tone-deaf advert. Although David Frost goes a little further and says, to me, the M&S ad is an important moment in the way we think about Christmas. For the first time, it marks a symbolic distancing, not just from the original Christian meaning of Christmas, that unfortunately went long ago, but also from its secularized successor, family, children, food, games, tree, elves, and so on. The ad now presented as almost entirely selfish event. Not about doing what you want with the holiday, defining it yourself, and not being made to do anything you don't wish to do. In that sense, is entirely in line with trends in society more generally, including the devaluing of tradition and distancing from the Christian roots of our society. But the negative reaction at least shows that these are not yet deeply embedded or wholly uncontroversial. Moreover, just maybe, the tide is on the point of turning. Which is an incredible reaction to an advert, which is, of course, a natural reaction to an advert you don't like, is to talk about how it is emblematic of how society is indeed sick. And there's just so much to unpack from this singular statement from David Frost that I think it's worth going over in loads of detail, right? In that they say, well, it's distancing from not just the original meaning of Christmas, but its secularized successor, about the things that you do with the family at Christmas time and the presents and the gift giving. And I'm like, okay, companies doing adverts to sell you at Christmas is already way far removed from what Christmas is all about anyway. It's market that all of these people who hate that the adverts are wrong somehow during Christmas time are somehow already bought into the idea that the celebration of Christmas can become commercialized. Right? That the commercialization of like a religious holiday and also, the secularized holiday as well, right? Turning it into some kind of
a communist.
Some kind of consumption festival, right? Where we buy things that corporations sell us, and how that is, I think, far away from the original Christian meaning of Christmas, and is also kind of, in some way, at odds with this idea of coming together as a family, because you can make gifts without buying them. The ultimate way in which that their level of Christmas can be sullied is by the advert being wrong. And it's absolutely wild to me that these people don't see that maybe it being commercialized and being eaten up by capitalism wasn't already distancing itself from Christianity and so on. It's a really weird position to take.
It might be that since the 50s and the fall of empire, Britain has been aimlessly walking forward, a zombie nation with no thoughts of its own, just a weird echo of American advertising. But at least it was something. It was a vague skeleton to hang the year on. Look, it's Mother's Day and Valentine's Day and all the other days. And here's a diamond ring, my love. And now even that is dissolving. Oh, it must be difficult to have so little to come on to.
What's crazy as well is that them getting mad about the fact the advert was about doing Christmas your way, right? Which is essentially is a kind of harmless message, right? Everyone has different Christmases. What Christmas means to one person might be different from another, right? Some people have Christianized ones. Some people might only like some bits and pieces of it to do it their way, which of course Marks and Spencer weren't saying we need to get rid of all of Christmas, right? No cards, no Christmas crackers, no elves, no nothing. It's cancelled for everybody. When actually it was like, no, just if you don't want to have elves everywhere, don't do it. Like, you don't have to put up Christmas lights if you don't want to. Which is a really kind of very innocuous message that these people have literally gotten mad about, of where we have, senior fellows from Policy Exchange tweeting out whole threads, right, using their blue check the furthest that they can do to write this long missive about why this Christmas advert is so bad, when even the message of it, the advert itself, is incredibly innocuous. But there's one central contradiction here, which is even bigger than the contradiction of the fact that maybe you should be upset with the adverts in the first place rather than the contents of them. And that is the fact that this is literally what Marks and Spencer wants. This is what they want, right? It's funny, people were talking about ad blocker in chat before, which of course, if you have ad blocker, you would have, and you're on the internet. No one watches terrestrial TV anymore. They watch on iPlayer, or they watch streaming services as well. You'd never see the Marks and Spencer Christmas advert. You'd never see it. So their scope for people interacting with the advert that they've paid loads of money for is getting smaller and smaller as time goes on, right? And now everyone's heard of it. It doesn't matter how bad the press is, because of course, in the case of the people getting mad about adverts in this sense, like they were with that H Bomber Guy video about, places like Keurig and Gillette or whatever it was, is that it's a way of bypassing the ad blocker by making people do the advertising for you. Because if Marks and Spencer is trending, you can't block that. You can't block Marks and Spencer from trending. If someone downloads the video, uploads it to Twitter, or uploads it to TikTok, or uploads it to Facebook, right? Then that's going to disseminate it past any kind of ad blocker. It'll become the talk of the town, right? People aren't going to remember this Christmas advert 6 months from now. But as long as their name is somewhere in your psyche, in the endless feed that you're scrolling down, right, interspersed amongst all the other adverts, subliminally going into your brain, because you've trained your mind not to look at the adverts that are on your Twitter feed, right? You've trained your mind to know, well, every 3 posts there's going to be an advert, so I'm just going to ignore that one and just not even bother interacting with it, right? And now everybody's paying attention to you and seeing your name. Exactly, it's outrage marketing, as Rohack points out. And it's incredible these people don't understand that they're part of the marketing campaign. You are being the advert now. They're paying loads of money for you to get mad, to be able to spread knowledge of their product and knowledge of their business and knowledge of their brand. That's exactly what they're doing, right? And then, of course, once it becomes the topic of discussion, not only are they advertising it by talking about how bad it is, all of the people then respond. The discourse will continue, because that's how the social media algorithm works. It specifically works off of contentions. It works off of getting people angry, because that's a really great way of getting people to engage and to increase engagement, which, of course, means that the whole cycle continues anew. And the companies know this. There are the people who do these adverts, right? When people can say this advert's terrible and I can't believe it. Do you think that the people who make the adverts get paid money hand over fist to know what adverts are good and what aren't? Do you think those people are actually thinking, well, this must not, that must ad is going to go super well because everybody's going to love it? No, of course they know it's contentious, right? And these people who will unwittingly spread it just can't even possibly contemplate that. And it's very funny to me that they're getting played. They're just getting completely played.
It is increasingly difficult not to become one of capitalism's useful idiots.
Yep.
The dark truth being it will take anything and turn it against you.
Yep.
The only way to win is not to play. In terms of, what was the gentleman who wrote so forcefully about the advert?
David Frost.
In terms of David Frost, he reminds me of somebody who, in a rather curtain-twitching part of the country, pushes a note under your door saying that because you are not putting lights up this year, you're letting Jesus down. There's the real look. Having a personality is difficult, right? What about Christmas speaks to the man? Is it the only time his children talk to him, perhaps? Can but wonder.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's. I mean, half of the time, I think it's just because they are looking for outrage. I think these people want the outrage. I think people on both sides of the political spectrum, they want to find something to be outraged about. They like the outrage porn. They live for it. I mean, we were speaking before about the kind of tenderqueer people who will just try and find any reason to find something to be able to be able to complain about. And the right wing are even worse. They are the absolute worst for it. Like, no amount of leftoids will ever be as bad as the right wing are for pointless complaining about nothing on the internet and using it for engagement.
Have you ever been on right wing YouTube or right wing TikTok?
YouTube, yes, but not TikTok. TikTok is really good at only showing me hot women who insult me and videos
I mean, it does know what you like.
Yeah, or videos of communists speaking in between high engaging ASMR videos.
So I think I set up an account and went on right wing TikTok for an hour to see what it was like. And what shocked me is that there was nothing there. It was owning the libs in 100 different flavors with no ideology of its own. It was so strange. I think you're right. I think for whatever there is a general urge towards indignant outrage, and it does seem to be the of our age, there is still a political bent to it, as far as I can tell. Although, how would you even measure such a thing?
Mm-hmm. It's such an directionless ideology, right? Because culturally, they know that so little of them have any kind of hegemony left at all, right? There's a lot of kind of progressive culture, especially amongst like younger people nowadays. That right wing culture is kind of pretty dead. But economically, they've been in charge for 50 years, completely unchallenged, right? And so there's nowhere for their ideology to go. There's nowhere for it to go. So all they have left is laughing at people just for being of a different ideology with no real underpinning or reason behind that disdain that they show. And so then that's all they can. They just keep churning out the same content, right? Because making fun of the liberals, like triggering the libs, has been that's what Trump won on in 2016 half the time, and they've not adapted from there in the last 7 years. Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for memberships. It's just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.